Okay guys, so welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be the fifth video already. And this is the second part of the revision we are going to do from the trial questions. So for today we have, I plan to do 5 states from today's one, which will come up to something like yesterday's one, about 1 hour 26 minutes like that. So first state we are going to go to here today is going to be about MRSM paper 1. This collection is all in 2021, of course. Okay, so the question here for functions came up in the paper 1 itself, which is in question number 5. So first two questions are the basics of function or facts that it just requires you to give a direct answer without any working. So first of all, they gave a graph. So the graph looks something like this. So these points I just plot randomly, and it's not according to scale, of course, because it's not on a Cartesian plane with a 1 times 1 unit. So here in total, we will have around 5 points like that. Okay, so first, this is how it comes out. So this under diagram 4. So first of all, when you see these kind of things, what you're going to do is first identify the coordinates, because they didn't write for you in the diagram. So you read from the Cartesian plane, you will get these coordinates. And from here, you can identify already, this is showing a one-to-one relation, because you can see all the coordinates, x coordinates, which are the objects, are all different values. And also the y coordinates are also of different values. So it shows that one object maps to one image. And you can see the trend 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Means each function is adding by 1. So most likely, if I want to write out the function for this graphic representation, will be y equals x plus 1, because the trend is increasing like that. And you can try out also, let's say I put my x is 1, you get your y is 2, which is this coordinate over here. So after we analyze all this, then we read the question. So they ask to state only. So that's the keyword here. The first one, they ask to state the domain. And the second one, the range of relation. So each one carry 1 mark only. So first part, they ask to state the domain. So domain is going to be whatever is on your x-axis as we learned previously. So how you write it out to answer the question is, you have to write all these numbers or x coordinate here, all must be on your x-axis. So you write it in the curly bracket form. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. So that's your answer for number 1. Only 1 mark each. So for number 2, they ask range. So range will be whatever that the x coordinate maps to the y coordinate. So you can see here directly, just copy from the diagram. 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. So that's how you get 1 mark each. Just like that. This is N1, this and y. The total for the first part is 2 marks. So the key thing is just make sure you include the curly brackets here to show the domain. Just don't write the content only. Make sure to show the curly bracket. So yeah, that's for the first section. So second section is now where it comes more challenging, and it applies the thing we have learned. Okay, so the second one, part B. So they told you that the function f maps set x to set y. And function g maps set y to set z. So they gave you the arrow diagram here. So the arrow diagram is like this. They give you x, y, and z. And here they label x. Here is 3x minus 7. Here is gy. So this will map to this will map to this. And this goes under function f. This goes under function g. So you can see why they label here gy, because function g maps z y to z z. So then they state they gave the function gy to you already. So given gy is 8 over 4 minus y, where y cannot be 4. So they ask find the function that maps set z to set x in terms of x. So now we are going to go from here to here directly. So it's definitely going to apply your inverse function. So this is 3 marks total. So first of all, they already gave you this. So of course, gy, they're going to express it in terms of y. So you need to be smart how to make this y come in terms of x for the final answer. So how you're going to do it is, so first of all, you can write out fx is 3x minus 7. And we know that gfx is 8 over 4 minus x. So in this case, you can change the 4 minus y to 4 minus x because we are using x as an object for the composite function. So we have the chance to do like that. So after you do this, you can say, you can substitute your f inside. So g3x minus 7 is 8 over 4 minus x. So then what you do to find g, this function over here, is you will do let y equals 3x minus 7. So you want to find the composite function here, you can actually directly do gfx is g bracket fx. So we already know the fx function. So gfx will equal to g 3x minus 7. And we can substitute this one inside this one over here. So you can find your composite function already. So you will get, you sub inside, you get 8 over 4 minus 3x minus 7. So when you expand, you will get 8 over 11 minus 3x. And also don't forget the condition where x cannot be 11 over 3 because you don't want undefined function. So from there, we can actually just inverse the function and we can find out the result of f inverse g inverse x. Means you will do this first, then we do this. So how we're going to do this is you have to find the respective inverse function of f and g. Then we can do the composite function based on this one. So how we do it is we find, let's say I want to find f first, because we can do actually f or g also doesn't matter, because in the end you have to do composite function for both. So I'll maintain this. So how we do inverse function is still the same steps, because it's easier to do inverse function for one function and then followed by another function rather than combining both into one. So what we do is we say let f inverse x equals y. So x equals fy. X will equal to 3y minus 7. So we express y in terms of x. You will get y is x plus 7 over 3. So you conclude therefore f inverse x is x plus 7 over 3. Means this one here is x plus 7 over 3. So now you have to find g inverse based on gy over here. So g, you can say gx also if you want. So 8 over 4 minus x, do not confuse things. So you say let g inverse x equals y, x equals gy, and then you will get x equals 8 over 4 minus y, and then you do the same thing, express y in terms of x again. Y in terms of x. So this one is 8 over x. So negative y is 8 over x minus 4. So you change the whole equation to come positive, you times the whole thing by negative. And if you want, you can make it rationalize the denominator. So you will get something like this. Arrange nicely, 4x minus 8 over x, where x cannot be 0. So this already shows that you already found your two inverse functions. So you conclude g inverse x is 4x minus 8 over x. So you have to take this info and this info to do your composite function inverse this way. So I can do on the top there. So what we're going to do is this function will be f inverse g inverse. So first we will substitute the g inverse first, because this is the first step we have to go to, then only we can reach here. So g inverse is 4x minus 8 over x. So we sub this inside the f inverse x. 4x minus 8 over x plus 7 over 3. So this one you have to be careful a bit, the fraction. So when you make the bottom become x, so you can get something like this. I'll mark here first. So you have to make the numerator of the same base. So let's say I choose as base x. So you'll get 4x minus 8 plus 7x, and don't forget over 3, the whole thing. So it's 11x minus 8 over x. So dy 3 means you times 1 over 3. So the answer, 11x minus 8 over 3x, where x cannot be 0 as well. So that should be your answer. Yeah, correct. So that's how you solve for this one. Actually, very simple. Just find f inverse, g inverse based on this and this function, and then just do this one. So 3 marks will be yours. So how you get the marks? First of all is you must show your f inverse. So if you show your f inverse, you can get 1 mark already. And then another one is F inverse. And also show your G inverse. It's one more mark. And of course, your final answer, which is this, of course, is one more mark as well. So this is N1. So total you will get is 3 marks for this question. So this is how we solve it. So not that challenging, but definitely test your understanding of inverse and composite function together. So next is also part C of this question, still in MRSM. So part C. So part C is about sketching graph. This is a famous one that came also we discussed in the previous video. So they give you diagram 6, shows a graph of y equals to hx. So they gave you a random function. So they say on the same diagram, or in last week they told in Kelantan we learned on the diagram, same diagram or on the same plane, they will say, sketch h inverse x. So you see again they're asking you to compare normal function and inverse function. And then they add on an extra down there. And state the corresponding coordinate of 2, 0. So this 2, 0 is on your hx. So they say the corresponding coordinate of this on the graph h inverse. So total here is 2 marks. So you can expect 1 mark is you draw the correct graph, second mark is you state the correct coordinates. So how we score? So they already provided you the diagram here. So you can see over here. So make sure you get your axis correct. So this is x, this is y, this is 0. So the hx graph goes at point 2 here, because they said it's 2, 0, and it curves like this. So they label this as y is hx. And then now they ask you to sketch the one. So what's the key point of inverse function is we always will refer to the imaginary line of y equals to hx. So we always base our drawing on that. So this imaginary line here. So how the reflected graph will look like is, they always say, remember, the domain of the normal function will become the range of the inverse function. So you'll expect another coordinate 2 here, and your graph will shoot up like this. So you see, this distance and this distance on the graph should be equal, same as here and here. So on drawing, it might not be exact, but on the real graph, it should be equivalent to each other. So that's how we draw. So then this is state the corresponding coordinate. So you'll expect corresponding coordinate will come 0, 2 instead of 2, 0. So that's how you write it. So where are the marks coming from? If you draw this correct, you will get P1, and you state this correctly is your P2. So that's how you score for this question, 2 marks. Okay, so that is your MRSM question discussed already. So next we will be going on to Malacca. So Malacca functions came out in paper 1 as well. So you can see the trend. This was in the 3rd question. So not necessarily function is always the first question. They don't follow the topic. Like the earliest topic is the first question. So you need to be prepared for that also. Don't expect function always come the first question. Okay, so how it came out here. This one is 6 marks in total. So they gave you, given that fx is ax plus b. So you see the involving variables already. And f cube x is 64x minus 42. So they say find value of a and number 2 value of b. So each one is 2 marks. So you have to show your working and show how you get to the conclusion A and B is what. So first of all, let's start with the function given. So let's say I want to use the fx function to substitute inside the f cube x function. The f cube x they gave you is 64x minus 42. So what we are lacking here is we need to find f square x so that we can form this relationship. So this is the idea I have from the f cube x, because f times f square you get f cube. So how to find f square x, which we just double this function. So f square x will equal to f bracket fx is ax plus b. So we sub the ax plus b inside the x there. So you'll get ax plus b plus b. So you expand this one, a square x plus ab plus b. So this is your f square x. And from here you can sub this inside here already. And then you sub this back inside your x again to find f cube. So from here we can proceed. F cube x equals f square x is a square x plus ab plus b. So you sub inside the f. And this part on the left hand side, you can copy 64x minus 42 because this is the info here. So when you sub back inside f, you will get a bracket a square x plus ab plus b and then plus b again. So now you can see a cubic pattern that's coming up. The x is power 3 now already. So 64x minus 42, you expand, you get a cube x plus a square b plus ab plus b. Looks complex how you're going to proceed from here, but again, it's the same method. You compare the like terms. Means you compare their coefficient. So you see the coefficient here is x, 64 for x, and then here is a cube for x. So you can compare these two directly. So what you will get is 64 is a cube. And a can only be 4. There's only one possibility. Because if it's negative 4, you will get negative 64. So you already found your a value, see? Directly. If you want, you can write by comparison if you want. So then now how to find for b now, you might be thinking, because there's no direct link here. So what we're going to do is, you just take this whole equation here, we compare it directly with negative 42. So a square b plus ab plus b is negative 42. So how are we going to solve for b? We already have our a value here, we must realize a is 4. So we can put sub a equals 4 into this whole equation, basically. If you didn't put the number label, you have to write down the whole equation to show where you're subbing it into. So a, so here will be 4 square b plus 4b plus b is negative 42. So 4 square 16b plus 4b plus b is negative 42. 21b is negative 42. So your b is negative 2, done. So this is how you solve for 4 marks. So where the 4 marks are coming from is, you have to find your x first, f square x, this part, which is your k1. So this part will give you k1. And then the next is in the, when you can form this equation right here. So this one you get K2. And when you get A and B, you get N1 and N2. So total is 4 marks here. So in this case, you're safe. If let's say your B value you get wrong, you still only get deduct 1 mark and not 2 marks because the marks are separate for each answer. The working counts for 2 marks. So yeah. So this is how you solve for 3A1 and 2. So part B is something more simple, but it's an application question, they call it. So here they relate it to daily life equation. Part B1. So they give you a person, Mr. Kamil. So this one they told you is age here. You will use the age later to find out something. So you say he has been doing exercise activities every morning. And then he said they gave his heart rate in the form of a function for you. So you see, as long as there's a pattern, they can generate a function and represent the whole situation for you. And they told you where x is his age. So this function will apply with the same heart rate as long as he's still 40 years old. So if he increased by 1, so the heart rate will also be affected. So that's how the pattern goes. So first of all, they said determine the inverse function. So this is only 1 mark actually. The whole question is 2 marks. So how we do the inverse function? Again, the same steps always. So fx is 0.85220 minus x. So if it's better, you can expand this because it's easier to find an inverse function from the expanded form. So you will expand, you will get 187 minus 0.85x. So this is fx. So how we do inverse function? The same step. Let f inverse x is y. So your x is fy. And then you sub the normal function of the x with y, you will get 187 minus 0.85y. So now you need to express y in terms of x because we want y. So you will get negative 0.85y is x minus 187. So you see the negative here, you can make 0.85y is negative x plus 187. And you will get y is 187 minus x over 0.85. So don't leave it here, always make sure you have the conclusion to show this is the inverse function. So this is your inverse function, done. So that's how you solve it. So then part B2, they followed up with determine the estimated heart rate of Mr. Kamal. Means this model they created here is just an estimate only, it's not the actual. So how we are going to determine the estimated heart rate? 1 mark also. So it's actually very simple, just a direct substitution. But where you're going to substitute your x is the question. You have 2 functions here, one on top here and the one we just found. So they said you want to determine the heart rate, you have to use the original function, not the inverse function. Because if you try out with the inverse function, let's say I put x is 40, you will get this, which is 172 point something something. So we don't want heart rate with decimal, we want a definite value. So that's why we have to use the normal function on top. So you will get fx is 0.85 bracket 220 minus 40. So after you solve, you will get 153. So if you want to label this on the left hand side, you can write F40 to show you substitute the x with 40. So that's your answer. So where are the marks again? So of course this one only 2 marks, so final answer 1 mark here, final answer 1 mark here. So 2 marks total. So this is Melaka paper 1. So yeah, that's all for Melaka. So the next step is going to be Negeri Sembilan. So this one is something more challenging, the second part of it, because this one really goes into daily life situation about something like consumer maths topic that you learned in your modern maths. But that one is related here in maths. Okay, so this one they gave again, you see the arrow diagram, very popular way to test function. So they say function g maps set A to set B and function h inverse map set B to set C. So we draw it like this. 1, 2, 3. So this is A, this is B, this is C. So they gave numbers here instead of equation form or variable. So here they give 3, this is P, this is 3. So function G is here based on the info and function H inverse is here. So from there you're going to proceed. So they said that given that function gx is 3x minus 1 and h inverse gx is 3 plus 6x over 3x minus 2, where x cannot be 2 over 3. So now they come out with question A. They say if a student writes P equals 10, so there's a P here. So they ask you to determine whether the value is correct or wrong. And then they also say give your reason. So your reason is definitely supported by calculation, of course. So how we're going to do it? Is this something like proof, but in a much simplified manner? So you have your gx function here already. And you know P is related to this gx function. So you can use this back. Gx is 3x minus 1. So you have your object there, 3. So let's say at x equals 3, you will know that your gx is P. So you can sub your P already here, and P equals 3 minus 1. So what is the P value they gave here is 10. So you can put 10 here. And when you solve, you get 8, and you can put a not equal sign there. So this is how you prove it. So what you can say is the value is wrong. So you need to address the question as always. So you say because P is equal to 8 if x equals to 3. So simple justification only. So you can also show in this manner G3 is P, and then you proceed with your calculation for A. So that's how you show it. So the marks will come when you show this one. or even this one. And of course, your final statement here. So this is your 2 marks for this part. So yeah, so you solve. So the next part again is also asking you about how to find inverse function, which is also very easy because they already have the function here given for you. So you just need to do the normal method again. So part B, they ask you to find H inverse X, which carries 3 marks. So how you want to find H inverse X is we use the composite function info given here. So if you realize you already have your gx function given here and you want H inverse. So everything is inside this equation already. So you can direct sub gx. So how we proceed here is just like how we do our normal composite function. We will let y is 3x minus 1. So you express x in terms of y. So that you can substitute the x terms on the right hand side with a variable y. So you already got this. So you put H inverse y equals 3 plus 6. X is y plus 1 over 3 over 3x again. Y plus 1 over 3 minus 2. So you copy back. So here you can simplify because 3 and 6. So you can cut, you will get 3 plus 2y plus 2. Make sure bracket then expand on the inside. So here also same, you will get y plus 1 minus 2. So you get 2y plus 5 over y minus 1. So don't forget, they want H inverse x, not H inverse y. So you change to x. And also conclude that x cannot be equal to 1, or else your function is undefined. So done. That's how you get your 3 marks. So where are the 3 marks coming from? You can show this one, or the inverse function you express x in terms of y, you get 1 mark. So this one and this one lead you to same mark. This one we call as process mark. Actually, they label as P, means it's the steps you take before you actually go into the proper working step for the question. So this is your thought process. So you get a process mark there as well. So K1 is again, you see, substitution, you get 1 mark, and final answer 1 mark. So 3 marks come from here. So this process mark is actually quite subjective. It depends on how they set the answer scheme. So yeah, it depends. But the other 2 marks, K and N, are quite easy to identify. So yeah, this is how you solve the first part. And then the next part is the I think the most challenging question of the day because it's daily life one. So this time it came in the middle of the session, not the end. So this one is the most challenging one. And it's also in paper 1. But in this case, they put it in the choice. So if you found it hard, you can definitely skip it because you just need to choose 2 out of 3 in section B. So this was actually one of the state trials in 2021 that predicted functions to come out in section B, and in the actual SPM it actually came out. Although it's the minority, so it's Negeri Sembilan paper that actually predicted this. So the question is like this. So they say Puan Kartika works in a housing development company. So now here comes the numbers. So every month, you see always they'll specify what they're talking about, the amount. Every month, every year, every week, or like that. So it says she receives a basic salary So this basic salary value of RM2000 is present no matter 1 month. So in 1 year, you will expect to get 24,000 from just the basic salary alone. And also they add on a commission of 2.5% on the sales that exceed RM1000. So if she managed in that month to exceed RM1000, 100,000 for the sales, the 2.5% will be added to the RM2000 basic salary. So it can increase, not consistently just 2,000 only. So they say, they give you function here. So they say given fx is x minus 100,000. So 100,000 is they are involving this. And they say and gx is 0.025x. So where do you think the 0.025x is coming from? It's actually from here, the commission. They converted 2.5% into the decimal form. So you get 0.025. So they tell you X represents sales of the month. So it makes sense. So when you get sales of the month, you will be charged the commission. So you can get extra money. And also the sales of the month, you will minus 100,000 to see what is the balance after you exceed 100,000. From there, I think they will charge the commission of 2.5%. So first question is, so here you see they ask you to form the composite function. Write a composite function that represents the monthly income from the sale. So you have two functions to consider here. So how do we know, are we going to write fgx or gfx? So now is where we think logically. So what is function fx representing and what is function gx representing? So fx, you need to realize that is actually representing the income you get minus the 100,000 sales. So fx is going to follow first because gx here is actually talking about the commission. This one is commission. This one is the fx is talking about basic income. So that's why when you solve, the commission that you get based on the sales of the month will be multiplied into this one over here, which is the fx. So without the fx, you won't get this function of the commission. So you need the basic income first, then only you get the commission for the sales of the month. So that's how we think. So gfx is equal to g, so you sub your fx inside. It also makes sense. Let's say you want to write fgx, means your gx will be inside the bracket here, which is 0.025x, and x minus 100,000 you times by 0.025x. So it doesn't make sense. The order should be opposite. So you will put x minus 100,000 inside here, and then you sub this as the x image for this one. So you see the commission is being charged for the x minus 100,000, 2.5% of that for the sales exceeding the RM 100,000. So they're going to charge the balance from that 2.5%. You see, the function makes sense. So that's how you get the composite function. If you want, you can expand from here, no problem. You will get 0.025x minus 250. But based on the answer scheme, they said you can stop at this line itself is enough already. You already get the full marks. So this one is 2 marks. So 2 marks will come from this one, not this one. Showing this one means you understand which function should go first, followed by the other function, and this one. But if you stop here, you should also get the mark here, but max is 2. So they'll choose either one here. So this is how you get your 2 marks from here. So part B, now you start to calculate already. So this is where you apply your understanding of this question. So part 3, they say, if one Fatika achieve sales of RM 225,000 in September 21. You see, they're talking about only 1 month because the question specified already. Commission, every month she receives basic salary, and X represents sale of month, so you have to specify the month only. So there's no time duration involved here. So they say find total income in that month. So when they talk about total income, you must also consider your basic salary every month. That's why they have this info on top here. So whatever money you get from this composite function, when you sub X is 225,000, you should plus it with 2,000. So that is why they say total income. Means you have to include your basic salary plus commission from this composite function. So that's how you think. So you say when X is RM 225,000, so GF 225,000 will equal to 0.025. So you sub the X minus, oh no, this one I use this one as the composite function. So minus 250. So you should get RM 3125. So then you can conclude total income is equal to the basic salary plus your commission. So you will get RM 2,000 plus RM 3125. So you will get RM 5125. That's your answer for 3 marks. So this question carries 3 marks. So not that tough, like in your consumer maths, you have more things to find. This one is just basic understanding on functions only. So when you sub here, you get 1 mark as always. So K1. And then 2 more marks if you show this step. Means you understand total income, you need to plus the basic salary and commission and your final answer. So actually quite kind here, they could have reduced this to 1 mark, but they broke this part into 2 marks. So that's how you get 3 over here. This is 2. So already 5 in your hand. So the next 3 is also another part. So I will maintain the condition on top. So I love this part. Okay, so part C. So they give another condition here to test you. So they say if one FICA intends to have, so see this, in this case they told you what is the total monthly income. The previous question they asked you to find the total monthly income. So that was your GFX. So most likely now they're asking you to find back your X. So you see, they want to see whether you understand where is your object, where is your image from the composite function. So they say at least RM 8,000. So all this stuff, at least, at most, all you should know what is the inequality sign you should use. So they ask you what is the minimum sale that she has to achieve every month. So in turn, they're actually telling you what is the X. This whole sentence over here is actually your X value. See here? X represents sale of the month. They told the question. So they just repeat the thing in different words only. So how you do is you can start off with how you find it. So you can assume that basic salary plus commission at least. So what is the sign for at least? Greater than or equal to. That's the keyword. Greater than or equal to 8,000. So your basic salary, they already know in the question is 2,000. And you can use back your composite function. So you see the question A there linked to all the three. So if you get your A wrong, the whole question might get 0, most likely. So for composite function, we got is 0.025x minus 2500. So you just copy back the whole thing. Don't sub in any x value because you want to find the x, or else there will be no variables to find. So you expand it. This is just solving normal linear inequality that you learn in your lower form maths. So 0.025x minus 500 is greater than or equal to 8,000. So you shift the 500 the other side, 8500. So your x will be greater than or equal to 8500 over 0.025. So x greater than or equal to 340,000 exactly. So you can conclude that minimum sales is equal to RM 340,000. Done. See, 3 marks just like that. Just need to solve a basic linear inequality here only. So getting this idea, you get 1 mark. So if you can get the idea from there, you get 1 mark. And then the next mark is you show this one. And you conclude here. So always don't stop here. If you stop here, you might miss this mark. Because you didn't tell what does your x represent actually. X can be anything. So you have to conclude x actually shows you the minimum sales. So that's how you get your 3 marks. So that is Negeri Sembilan. So yeah, that's how you solve. So 3 papers down, 2 more to go. So next you are going to Pahang. So for Pahang question, not much challenges. It's the basic question that we have learned only. There's no application here. So the question is like this. So they gave you in diagram 1 function h maps x to y and function g maps y to z. So they gave you this kind of like arrow diagram thing. And then they gave you numbers inside, very common. So this is x, this is y, this is z. And here is 2, here is 5, and the other one is 8. And the arrow is like this. So this is under function f, this is g, based on the statement. So the question is, just name the composite function only. So you just need to direct C and name. Name the composite function that maps x to z. Sorry, 8 to 2. So this 1 mark, of course. So 8 to 2 means you are reversing this composite function. So you must know that 8 to 2 will be, you will do G first. Then only you can go to F. So it will be F inverse, G inverse, X. You don't need to use Z, you can use X. Function F, X, G. Yeah. This one's supposed to be h, sorry, this one's function h. So it's h inverse g inverse x. So this one first, then proceed to this. So that's how you reverse the whole thing to this side. So that's your 1 mark. So the second part, this is not based on this. So I can work. So this one again is how you express relations. So this is a key thing they test here also. So they say given function gx is 3x minus 10 and hx is kx plus 1 over 2, where k is a constant. So constants are actually numbers, integers. So that's how you think of constant. The value doesn't change. So they say if GHM is 2, express k in terms of m. You cannot get exact value because they introduce a variable as an object here, and you have a variable in your function here as well. So that's why they ask you to express. So 3 marks. So how you do it is basic composite function again. You just have to do GHX. So GHX will equal to so you're going to sub your h first. So your h is kx plus 1 over 2. You sub the kx plus 1 over 2 into your g. So this will come your x now. So you sub inside the x, you will get. You can get complex, but just follow the algebra method. So you will get GHX is 3kx plus 1 over 2 minus 10. So you want to rationalize it, you can put over 1 here. So you'll get GHX, you'll divide 2. So 3kx plus 1 minus 10 minus 20. So you'll get 3kx minus 19 over 2. So this is your GHX. And now you know that they gave you x is m. So you say when x is m, GHM equals 3km minus 19 over 2. So then they say if GHM is 2, so you see, follow only the continuous process. Given GHM is 2, so 2 is equal to 3km minus 19 over 2. If you can reach this stage, means you already passed your understanding of the concept of inverse function already. So from here, it's just your modern math skill, how to express relations. So how you do it is cross multiply. So 3km is 23. So you will get, they ask k in terms of m. So k will be 23 over 3m. So that would be your answer. Wait, here is 3k. Oh, here, sorry, this is 3. When you expand, you get 3. So be careful when you do expansion also. So you'll get minus 17. So here is 17. Here is 17. And then here also will be 17. So then you will get 3km is 21. So sometimes you can suspect, like just now I didn't know I made a mistake there. You can actually suspect if your answer gets into a fraction like 23 over 3. Quite odd for an maths question, so I will check back again. You see, I noticed this mistake over here. Usually you should get whole numbers. Not all the times, but high possibility that you made a mistake. So k is 21 over 3m, k is 7 over m. Usually the answers in maths will be like perfect like this. You should get a perfect answer like that. So that's how you can check also. Another tips. So where your marks are coming from is you show this one. See again, substitution 1 mark. And then this one, another mark. And your final answer, 3 marks. Total is 3 marks. So that is for Pahang paper 1. So this came out in question number 4. So this one in Pahang also came out in question number 11. So you see the repeated functions question twice in the same paper. So it can happen also. So usually functions question is to help. It's a place where you can really score marks no matter where it comes also. Because it's only testing on 2 types, composite and inverse function. And then you can master the topic already. So this one again, they gave you the arrow diagram. They're still in Pahang. So they said diagram 2 shows graph of function fx is modulus. So you see again they test you on modulus graph, very common. And they specify to you the domain. Domain 0 less than x less than 5. So they draw for you the graph already as a guidance. X, y, 0. So you have point T and point 5. And 1 is here. So the graph always, you see, modulus graph, you always expect to have a thick shape, something like that, like this. So yeah, only on the positive side. So you see here, they ask you to state in this. State number 1, the value of T. It's a very basic question again. So you should realize T is located on the point where the y coordinate is 0. Because this line, which is the x-axis, shows y equals 0. The equation of this line is y is 0. So how you find T is you substitute your fx with 0. Because this point lies on the graph of this equation. So you will say let fx is 0. So modulus 1 minus 3x is 0. If it's 0, it won't affect anything. So 1 minus 3x is 0. You can say when x is t, just to shift the variable to t. So you can say 1 minus 3t is 0. Negative 3t is negative 1. T is 1 over 3. Done. So you already state your value of t. So that one is only 1 mark. So final answer, you get 1 mark here. And part 2, they ask you the range of fx. Corresponding to the domain. So you see, when you have a domain only, you can have a range. So you see, you look at this graph, you must find one info first before you can conclude, because we don't know what is the value of fx when x is 5. For 0, we already know it's 0, of course, because it's a modulus graph. So for you will definitely start at 0, because there's a point that hits at 0. So now you have to find out if its x is 5, what is the value that it will project to. So fx is modulus 1 minus 3, 5. So f5 is modulus negative 14. So in modulus negative 14, you get 14. So that's all you need to show. So therefore, range will be 0 less than fx less than 14. Done. So that's how you solve. So this one also 1 mark. So definitely 1 mark from your answer. So that's your first part. Next part is not related, it's just an arrow diagram again. So you see, although it came out in question number 11, which is the later part of section A in paper 1, the question still is quite low level. You see, the question just needs to mix up according to the difficulty level. So always they will base how they set the questions on the ratio of 5, 3, 2. Means 5 is easy questions, 3 is medium to difficult. Means you can say within 10 questions randomly in paper 1, you should find 5 questions which is easy, 3 moderate, 2 hard. So total you have 15, right, in paper 1. So from there you can try to do some maths a bit. You can find out what's the ratio of easy to moderate to hard. So now is part B. So part B again, they relate to you the arrow diagram. So diagram 3 shows function f map set A to set B. So they gave you the circles again. So this is A, this is B. So here they give you a function 2x minus 4. Here is 3x minus 5. Sorry, 3x plus 1. And they draw an arrow for you here showing the mapping of set A to set B. So this is under function f based on the question. So they ask you find function fx. So you might be thinking here how to do this. Quite different from the rest. 3 marks. So how you're going to do is, first of all, you need to realize that you have to form this equation first. f2x minus 4 is 3x minus 1 plus 1. Because this is the object, this is the image map under function f. So this is the equation you get. And from here, you realize that you can make an assumption. Let 2x minus 4 be your y. Because fy is also fx. And that's the question here. So that's the way you can think of it. So 2x equals y plus 4. X is y plus 4 over 2. So you can see here, you can sub here the x variable with y or d. So you get f y is 3 y plus 4 over 2 plus 1. So you get 3y plus 12 over 2 plus 1. So you can make the denominator same here. So this is your answer. So this is under fy, remember. So they want fx, so you just make a conclusion. Fx is 3x plus 14 over 2. Done. 3 marks, so simple. So how you get it is, of course you must start with this, then only you know how to do all this. So this is your K1. Means you understand object and image and you form function. Or this also can be your K1. You let this equals to this. And this also can be your K1. You express x in terms of y. So they'll choose either one to give you the mark. So the next mark is, you start, again you see substitution here, you get mark. And final mark here, answer. So total is 3 marks. So that is for Pahang. So see, Pahang came out quite easy for 2021. So the next one, this is quite a nice question, I like. And I've also told this in the composite function video. I did a section on it, and it came out in Perak trial paper. So this is the last trial paper for today. So this one is came under Perak SMJK Colombo 1. So it's a specific school that came out with this paper. So this under paper 1. So they say verify the function fx equals 2x minus 5 has an inverse function of gx is x plus 5 over 2, 3 marks. So how are you going to solve this? So I have two perspectives here. One method is I can just do the normal way of finding an inverse function. This method I've done many times already, so I'll just go too fast. So can you say after you do all this, you have done the question already? So that's the question here. Because you already saw what? 2x minus 5, x plus 5 over 2. You already saw here. So this is actually not the way they want to see here. Because it's 3 marks, you must remember. This one, you just do this, you don't think you can get 3 marks in NMAX. So that's definitely a much longer way. And the concept actually is, you need to know that fgx is equal to gfx is equal to x. This is to show that f and g are inverse to each other, means they cancel out each other and get back the object of x. So that's why they gave you two separate functions, not only to use one to get to the other, but to use both to show that they are both equivalent to x. So yeah, this is not something like proving that left hand side is right hand side like you'll see in your 3 course. So this one is involving both. So how you do is, definitely you're going to find fgx. So fgx will equal to fgx is x plus 5 over 2. So you sub this inside your f. 2x plus 5 over 2 minus 5. And when you solve, you realize you get x. So one side you already show. So you have to show for gfx as well. fx is 2x minus 5. So you sub inside your g, you will get 2x minus 5 plus 5 over 2. So 2x over 2, you get x also. See, same. So this is how you verify it actually. So you say, you make a conclusion as well, don't stop there. You say, divide back the concept on top. Since gfx equals fgx equals x, hence gx is equal to f inverse x. So this is how you prove it. Means if I sub gx is f inverse, you see f times f inverse, you get 1. So it's basically 1x, which is x, which is your answer here. So that's how it's proven. So you get this, you show like this, you get 1 mark. Here you show, you get 1 mark. Conclusion 1 mark. So 3 marks. So quite a simple question, but definitely higher level from what we did. So now it's the last one of today. So this is also under paper 1, under the same school. But this came out in section B. So you see this school also targeted functions to come in section B, paper 1. So there's 2 states already. So you see it's still a minority compared to all the other states, but it came out in the actual SPM in 2021. So how to solve? Some very basic type. This one is very typical type of function, no tricks at all, although it's in question number 15. So it's quite a bonus if you choose this. Bonus 8 marks. You see, very typical. So they say gx is 3x plus 4 and fgx is 6x plus 1. So the first question is to find fx, 3 marks. So very typical, same method as I showed before. So you should know that fgx is 6x plus 1. So you sub your gx given f3x plus 4 is 6x plus 1, and you make the assumption again that y is 3x plus 4. If you express x in terms of y, you will get x is y minus 4 over 3. and then you can sub x inside here. So you'll get Fy is 6y minus 4 over 3 plus 1. So it's 2y minus 4 plus 1. Expand carefully. 2y minus 8 plus 1. You get 2y minus 7. So therefore you conclude Fx is 2x minus 7. Done. You see 3 marks, you just do this, you get 3 marks already. So this should be the regular speed of how you solve this kind of level of question in mathematics to finish the paper. So x is y minus 4, 1 mark. And then substitution again, as always, 1 mark. And then your final answer is 1 mark. So 3 marks here. And then now we'll go part B. So part B is again very simple. Find composite function g of x. You found your f, you have your g, so you just find back in below. Here they gave fgx, so they want you to find g of x now. So g of x is g bracket, fx is 2x minus 7. So it's dependent on each other again. So if you get this wrong, careless mistake, then this also will go out. No? So you sub inside g, you will get 3, 2x minus 7 plus 4. So you get 6x minus 21 plus 4, which is 6x minus 17. Done. So this is another part. So where you get the marks? Again, substitution here, K1, final answer, and 1, 2 marks only. So that's your B part. And C part, they gave a condition. Value of x is 3fgx minus 2 is equal to g of x. It looks complex, but you just need to show substitution method again. So you copy back. So fgx minus 2 means under the function fg, the x is x minus 2. So you need to, this 3 is just a constant outside, you times the whole composite function by 3. So you will put x minus 2 inside the x plus 1, close bracket. So g of x, what's the composite function? This one. This is dependent again. If this one you got wrong, here will be wrong already. So then this is where the mark comes from. So they check the whole equation to see everything same with yes or not, then only you get the mark. So you expand inside 6x minus 17. So 3, 6x minus 11, 6x minus 17, then you expand again. And you shift the x all to one side, equals 16. X is 16 over 12. Don't leave your answer here. Again, simplest form always. So you can divide this whole thing by 4, you will get 4 over 3. Done. So where are the marks? So this one again, substitution 1 mark. You can reach this one here, you get 1 mark. Like an addition mark for you here, and this your final answer is 1 mark. So 3 marks. So this is under section B, so you get total 8 marks. So yeah, this is the discussion for today. So we've gone through 5 states already. So hope you like today's discussion. So there'll be 2 more parts following up from this. So continue staying in tune for more videos.